Let's talk about how my client Nora had a smooth, easy birth after massive tears with her first two babies and a super painful ring of fire with her third. Now, just for sitting with me, I would love to send you my cheat sheet, which tells you how to prevent tearing during birth. It gives you ideas that you can start right now, today, during your pregnancy, that will make it so that you are able to have a gentle birth with your baby. And of course, it covers things to do during your birthing time as well. If you don't know me, my name is Kristen. I am a pregnancy coach, and I work with mamas all over the world, helping them have a healthy and enjoyable pregnancy and prepare for a great natural birth. Now, every day I'm bringing you a tip that will help you take action so that you are able to give your baby a beautiful beginning too. Again, we're going to talk about my client Nora. She and I didn't work together for very long, but I was able to give her some tips because when she came to me, she was pregnant with baby number 4, due not too long from the time that we started talking. And she was really, really worried. Like I said, she had 2 massive tears with her first 2 babies. And with her third baby, she had a water birth and didn't have as much tearing, but she did have a horrible ring of fire. And frankly, she was afraid to give birth again. And this is the outside of bleeding, which we can talk about in another video if you want to. This is usually the number one fear that moms have. They worry about bleeding, they worry about will my baby be healthy, and they worry about am I going to tear. So if you have that fear and that concern, you are absolutely not alone. And this is something that I want to be able to help you with and that I want to encourage you can be helped with. So just like Nora found, she was able to work on things. She was able to be teachable, number one, and she was able to pull together things that she had learned and that I was able to share with her. So the first thing is I want you to be teachable. I want you to be open to the thought that, you know what, this doesn't necessarily have to happen to me. Tearing is not an inevitable thing. And if you've watched my last few videos, you already know some strategies. And again, I've got the cheat sheet that just lays it all out for you. But if you haven't, go back and watch those videos. But some things that I talked to Nora about were really stopping and visualizing the way that she wanted her birth to go. And the other thing that I really shared with her was starting right then. Remember, she was close to her due date. Starting right then to calm down and to condition in any way that she could. So again, visualization, it sounds a little self-explanatory, but in case you aren't sure, that's just like what pro athletes do. When they lay down or sit down and they imagine themselves going on to victory with their team or in their race or whatever it is, they see it in great detail. And what I want you to picture is your baby's smooth birth in great detail. Some people say, well, you can't predict birth, and that's true. I've had 8 babies. I've assisted at over 24 births. I know that you can't predict birth. But what I do know is that the women who prepare for a beautiful birth are much more likely to have the experience that they want. And I also believe in the great power of birth visualization. And I won't go into personal anecdotes now, but I can tell you that in my births where I did a lot of time visualizing, I was surprised by how uncannily that birth went just like I pictured. And if you've heard me share the story of my sixth baby's birth, my core one's birth, that birth was a painless birth that went so much like I visualized. It was almost uncanny. So visualize the birth that you want. Visualize it going just how you want it to go. Because even if it doesn't go that way, you will have practiced again and again and again in your mind, yourself being soft and open and your baby coming gently. And it's just more likely to happen. Just like for athletes who picture themselves winning the gold, they're more likely to get to that gold. Now, the other thing is the conditioning. This is the practical to counterbalance visualization's imaginative and creative side. So the practical, and this is what I told Nora to do, is every single time you go sit on the toilet, I want you to practice softening. If you saw my last video, I told you about why Kegels are a bad idea, and I want you to hold on to that thought. You don't want to practice tension, or if you have that tension, you only want to have it for a minute to bring awareness to the pelvic region. Instead, when you're on the toilet, I want you to breathe. I want you to relax. I want you to imagine your pelvic floor softening. And I know it doesn't sound pretty, but I especially want you to imagine this because when you're having a bowel movement. Because ladies, we're talking about birth here. We're getting real. We're bringing life into the world. So let's do what we can to maximize our advantages for that to be the beautiful experience you want it to be. When you have a bowel movement, it's not as big as a baby, I hope, but it's triggering the same nerves from the other side, but it triggers the same nerves. So when you condition yourself to relax to that sensation every single day, and even every single time you go to pee, which you're pregnant, so I know it's a lot, you are conditioning your body to soften and relax down there. And my favorite tip is to use a Q word, because you will find that you actually start to soften and relax when you use that Q word. Like I said, I've got a cheat sheet that goes over these tips and more things that you can start right now, today, the next 10 minutes, and get started so that you are able to give your baby that soft, gentle, beautiful birth, and that you are able to birth without tearing. Just let me know you want that. I'll get that to you, and I will see you in the next video.